Hey guys! I hope that you guys are doing amazing wherever you are in the world. My name is Shikha and I welcome you to my channel as always. I hope that you guys enjoy my videos and hopefully you learn from them, which is my highest goal with these videos. Recently, a person on Instagram messaged me and asked me if I had ever been lonely and I had no friends. Was there ever a time when I had no friends and I was really lonely? And my heart actually kind of felt a little bit bad, and it kind of squeezed a little bit. You know that squeezing feeling where you're like, oh my god, I feel so bad for this person because I know what they're going through. Because you have this thing where all of a sudden you feel connected to this person because you know exactly where they are, and you just want to hug them and you just want to tell them that everything's going to be fine because I've been there and I got through it and I'm here now and everything is better now. And so if I can get through it, you can get through it as well. Now, of course, I had to do a video on it, but before that, I did message him saying, yes, absolutely yes, a billion times yes. I had been in a situation like that. I had been in a situation where it felt hopeless and it felt really lonely. And the words I used for him were absolute and utter loneliness. So lonely that my heart would squeeze every single day with pain and there would be no one to speak to about it. Now, a lot of this loneliness was self-created because as INFJs, we create our loneliness in a lot of ways. And this is something that you guys are probably going to get irked by. You're going to be like, no, I don't create my loneliness. Well, I do. I did create my loneliness. A lot of the times what we do is we push people away, especially people who want to be in our lives. We have this feeling, this utter feeling of fear that says, no, don't let this person into your life, otherwise they're going to hurt you. Not everyone's going to do that to us, but we kind of assume that everyone is going to do it. And so we never let people into our circle. We don't let people into our hearts. We don't let people into our lonely facade. We don't actually let them in, right? And so we push people away, and that's how we create our loneliness in a lot of ways. But I think this individual who messaged me was in high school or in university, just from the messages that he sent me. And I remember how it was in high school. I had friends because I am a really good chameleon and I can pretend to be whatever my friends needed me to be. And so I had friends, but not really friends in the real sense of the word. I had lots of people around me, but I was lonelier than ever because there was no one in my life that I could really speak to about my goals and my dreams and my wishes and my hopes. You know, all from a really young age, I wanted to be a public speaker. I wanted to be a speaker of ideas. I wanted to be a sharer of my thoughts and ideas and ideals and goals. And I wanted to travel the world and I wanted to work online and I wanted to be free. I wanted to be independent. And so I have all of these amazing ideas in my head. But all of my friends, all the people around me at that point in time, they had very simple goals. They wanted to get a really good job in a really good field, preferably a lawyer or a doctor or engineer or an accountant, and make loads and loads of money, get married to a really rich guy as well, and then with all that money, have a couple of babies, retire early, and then spend their time traveling. That was a lot of the goals that these people had. So I couldn't actually really confess to them, first of all, that I did not want to work in a corporate field. And so obviously I did, because it's so hard to convince people when you're a teenager that you know what's best for you. You know you're not going to be happy in that field, but you do it just because everyone else is like, well, what else are you going to do? And you're like, well, there's other things I can do, but I'm not going to argue with you, right? So there was that loneliness where I couldn't share myself with the people around me. But not only that, but as an INFJ, there were a lot of ideas in my head that were really different, if you want to say it. They were not the kind of typical ideas, and they were the kind of ideas that perhaps will cause people to dislike you, people to feel that you are different from them, and usually people don't like people who are different from them. Even now, I don't share a lot of the things that I do with the world. I don't share my ideas or goals or the way I'm living my life with a lot of people. No one really has a clue of what I'm doing. It's funny because I was actually telling a friend of mine, recently a bunch of people have been asking me, so what have you been doing with your life? And it's so funny because I'm always the kind of person who just brushes it off. And I'm like, oh, well, same old, same as last year, same as the last time I talked to you. And it's funny because I can see the look in their eyes and the faces of the people that I answered this question to. They're like, did you ever tell me what you've been doing? And they're like, I don't think they just don't know what to say to me because they have no idea. They're like, well, maybe she has told me. I shouldn't make myself a pure fool and ask her again. So they just change the subject. I mean, I change the subject. I'm like, oh, so what have you been doing, really? And so, I mean, they'll start talking about themselves, and that's totally fine with me. I really don't want to share what I'm doing with the world because I'm happy, and I don't want people poking their poking their nose into it, and saying, what have you been doing? This is not the right way to live your life. You should be doing this, or you should be doing that. And I'm like, you know what? Really, you have no right to give me any advice. Anyways, I am diatribing. I'm digressing. So the real reason I wanted to share this video with you guys is, as you guys know, we have a tendency as INFJs to be lonely. Not only in the fact that we might have 100 people around us and we're lonely in a crowd, but also it's the misunderstanding that everyone has with who we are and what we are. Everyone always assumes that they know who we are, and they don't. Not only that, but even people who really do know us really don't know us. You know, like there's so many layers to us that lead to the fact that even we ourselves don't know who we are. What am I? Who am I? What do I really like? What do I really want to do with my life? There's so many things that are being revealed to myself as time goes on. So how can I say to another person that you must know me, right? It's blasphemous. In any case, what I wanted to share with you guys in this video is the idea that perhaps it is all right for us to be lonely, and it is all right for us to have periods of loneliness, because I can tell you with absolute assuredness that I was really, really lonely for the longest time when I was younger, and it was a hard thing to deal with. Absolutely, it was difficult. I wished for every Christmas, if you want to say, or every year, I wished that there would be that I'd find a tribe of people or a group of people that would understand me and who would be my tribe, who would be the kind of people who I could hang out with. And obviously right now with the INFJ community that I have on the YouTube channel, I feel like I've kind of reached that epitome, that pinnacle where I wanted to have a group of really understanding, awesome, amazing individuals around me, and I do, right? And that's the reason I feel that I can sit in my room all day long and not go out and not have any real friends in the real world, if you want to call it, in non-virtual world, and still feel like I'm completely fine because I have so many virtual friends, a lot of you guys, and a lot of people who I've connected with over the channel, you know. So the loneliness does disappear. Now, for some people, it will not disappear, because what happens as an INFJ is that when we isolate ourselves further and further and further, deeper and deeper into a black hole, until we have no possibility of reaching out to anyone. The reason I really wanted to do this video is because I know that there are a lot of you like that on the channel. There's a couple of you that say that you haven't met anyone or seen anyone for weeks on end, even months on end. And I really implore you guys to either join some kind of group, or some kind of hiking group, or some kind of outdoorsy group, or some kind of social group, anything, so that you're seeing at least one human being every week. At least one human being. It doesn't have to be someone special. It doesn't have to be a friend. It doesn't have to be someone that you really like. It doesn't have to be someone you really hate. It doesn't have to be anyone special. It just has to be a human being, a person who can converse with you, who can go back and forth with you, even if it's just small talk. The reason for this is that it's very easy for an INFJ to lose the art of conversation. I do recognize that in myself when I don't speak to a lot of people for a long time, and then I go out in the real world. I have no idea how to talk to people. Recently, I was in the airport traveling from Mexico back to Canada, and this older gentleman sat down next to me and started talking to me, and I'm literally sitting there. I have no idea how to speak to this person. I don't know what words to use. My mouth was literally like, it was like cotton candy in there or something. I have no idea. I just could not even speak properly. Like I was tongue twisted and tongue tied, and then the good thing was that he did not need me to speak. He was just there to vent and talk, and I seemed like a good person to share to. But it was really funny to me. In my head, I'm thinking to myself, first of all, what is this guy doing? Why is he talking to me when I had all the signs. I had my headphones on, I was looking down, I had my computer, and seriously still he sat down next to me and started talking to me. And this is at an airport. There are hundreds of thousands of people there. Why me? But anyways, that's an INFJ thing. But not only that, I was saying to myself, what should I say now? And he would pause and he'd look at me because, obviously he expected a reply. And I was at a loss. I had no idea what to say. And so we really need to see people at least occasionally, at least once a week, I think is minimum, because otherwise we forget that there are people out there in the world, that there are others out there in the world, that there is this world that exists outside, and that we can have conversations with people. Even if it's a very inane, small talky, horrible conversation, at least you're interacting with a human being. At least you're being social as much as possible, right? I hope this makes sense. This is kind of an important video, so I hope that you guys understood what I was trying to get at. Again, loneliness is I think it's an epidemic. It's a thing that's becoming more and more common as time goes on, as families become more nuclear and, communities kind of disintegrate and people start moving around all over the world. We're all looking for a community. I hope that some of you will find your community in this YouTube channel. If not, I hope that you'll find your own community somewhere where you are. It's really important for us as INFJs not to forget that human beings are social creatures. We cannot be an island upon ourselves. We think we can. We really, really believe that as an INFJ. But we cannot. We need people around us. That's how a human being thrives. And more than that, it thrives really well, especially for an INFJ, especially for an introvert like us, okay? Again, as I said, I hope this makes sense. If you guys have any questions at all, please message me anytime. I'm always here to answer your questions. And if you guys have any other video suggestions, please let me know as well. I shall see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.